Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Reds Talk. This is your official pre-match build-up for the game between Liverpool and Manchester United at Anfield. It is kill or be killed. So for everyone just tuning in, make sure you get your comments in. Let us know how you're feeling about the game in general, and let us know about the changes that United have made from the last game. Because the starting 11, do we have it on the screen, Trey, just before we read it out? Yeah, we do have it on the screen. Wonderful. So we have Andre Onana starting in net, who's given a very confident interview ahead of this game, which I want to dive into. You've got Diego Dalot at right back, no Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Varane and Johnny Evans as a centre-back partnership, Luke Shaw at left back. You've got a midfield of Amrabat, Mcominay and Scott McTominay, and McTominay is the captain. I definitely want to talk about that. And then you have Antony, Højlund and Garnacho as well on the left-hand side. And just for you guys for the bench, we've got Bayende and Cambuala, I think is a youth prospect, who gets his first kind of appearance in the senior squad. You've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Reguilon, Gore, Hannibal, Van der Beek, Pellistri, and Marcus Rashford as well. So, chat to me, lads. Chive, how are you feeling about that team? Any more confident or less confident?
It's a rhetorical question.
Always is. Always is.
No, it doesn't fill me with any confidence. But it's not because of the individuals. It's just, obviously, I mean, if we're going to carry on playing the way we've been playing, then I'm sure nobody would be confident going into this game, especially with that lineup. My only hopes is just that we keep it compact. We try to minimize the damage, because there will be damage.
Yeah.
Going forward, I have no hopes in anything going forward, because Garnacho and Antony aren't really creators, and I think Højlund might just be on his own. There's nothing there that adds to the attack. And with Scott McTominay, actually, I think this might be a game where he might actually, because he's a big game player, right? He plays well when he plays against like the big teams. And if it's Amrabat and Maino, I imagine that both of them would be sitting, and then him playing that. We probably won't play with a 10. He'll just be like a supporting striker with Højlund, as we've seen before. Yeah, and probably if anything, he just confuses them, because they look very similar on the pitch. So the defenders, who's Højlund and who's McTominay, kind of thing. But I would have loved to see Ahmad on the bench, because I was more interested in who was on the bench than in the attack. Because if we need to switch things, I would like to see some players on the bench there that that could come off. But I've resigned myself. I'm prepared for anything today. I mean, if we can just keep it low, just keep the damage to a minimum. It's good to see Varane on the bench, because I think when I saw the...
No, he's in the team.
Sorry, not the bench. But initially, I think the predicted lineup had Evans on there, and that was kind of worrying. It's good to see Varane, because I know at the end of the day, it's better to have that sort of a more experienced, solid, well, not experienced, but just better quality than Evans, and it just makes it less of a joke to have Maguire and Evans than have Maguire and Varane. So yeah, we'll see. I'm prepared for anything today.
Trey, is there enough blend of experience and kind of youthfulness in his side, especially when you go into a stadium like Anfield? The pressure is as hard as it gets, really, the quality that's on the pitch. And we'll get into Liverpool's team in a moment. But you've got Mainu on there, you've got Antony on there, Højlund, Garnacho. These are relatively young kids, man. So do you expect them to deal with the pressure?
I think they have to deal with the pressure. And like you said, Højlund is way too young. Garnacho is way too young as well, especially in the kind of atmosphere they'll be playing in, with the form and momentum that we're going into at Anfield, a ground which is known for its hostile atmosphere. Then you've got the likes of Kobe Mainu playing away. I think he's just come back in the starting 11, hasn't started in the last few games either. His first start came against Everton away. Now he's playing against Liverpool away. So maybe, he can have a good performance too. But it's a big ask, actually, from these youngsters, because it can happen playing in these sort of stadiums with the sort of crowd that they bring, that, it can be distracting. It can be a little bit overwhelming as well. In the back line, I would still say we still got a good blend of experience. Luke Shaw is experienced, Varane is experienced, Dalot is experienced, even though he's not playing well, but he's relatively one of the more experienced players that you can say in this starting 11 that we've got. The midfield, I think Amrabat and Menu is something that I'm excited to see because I've wanted to see it for quite some time. How they are able to play together. Maybe it can help us in bringing more compactness and actually bringing some more control in midfield. Um, McTominay is going to be a big gamble today. I think once again, moving forward, if he's able to get into the right spaces at the right time and get a goal. Because except that, you can't expect McTominay to be one of those players who's going to be interlinking play. So I think the forward line and even the midfield at some point, I think it's going to be a very tough game for both of those departments.
When we were discussing it on the preview yesterday, I mentioned the fact that I felt like it was going to be like the Bayern Munich game a little bit, where it's backs against the wall, stay in your shape, and there's going to be a lack of chances. We'll probably have 1 or 2 shots on goal. That's how I feel this is going. Because structure-wise and shape, having Mainu and Amrabat in there, and then Anthony on the wing and Garnacho, I can see like we was able to do that against Bayern Munich, and Erik ten Hag described them as one of the best transitional teams in Europe. But with no Bruno to get on the ball, play them balls in behind, I don't know who's going to take that mantle. Yeah. I don't know who's going to, like Jimmy said as well with the wingers, because they can be very greedy at times. I feel sorry for Højlund today because I don't think he's going to get a fucking sniff at all. I'd be very surprised if he scored. So that'd be obviously a huge moment for himself because he's still yet to get a Premier League goal. But sticking with the midfield, there, the first time we've seen Amrabat and Mainu, what do you think about that? Is that a nice balance finally?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Shiraz was saying earlier on, he's been wanting to see that. A lot of people have been calling for it. And I think one of the main reasons why people want to see that is because it offers us a little bit of stability.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine, I would like to imagine that both of them are playing as holding midfielders, and it's not just the one running off. And I know Kobe has the ability to play on the half turn. I know he drives the ball forward. I know he's really, really good at decision making, especially in the middle of the park. But I would just hope for him to be a little bit more judicial in this role. So yeah, it will be a good partnership. It's a good partnership on paper.
Yeah,
we haven't seen it in practice before, and what we've seen with the way we've played this season is a lot of times we imagine things and we hope to see things done a certain way, but we always see that it's never that way, right? The manager always has his own plans to execute it. So if I like to see them the way I would imagine them play, but I don't know how the manager is going to do it. And just like you said, Nick, with Bruno being able to play those passes in, we haven't got anyone to do that in the midfield, or at least with the ability that he has. I know Kobe has made some really, really good passes, especially in pre-season. And what game was it where he played? I can't remember what game.
I think Arsenal.
No, apart from the Arsenal game, there was a game recently when he came back. There was a pass he laid in for
maybe Everton.
Sorry,
Everton.
Yeah, I think it was Everton. There was a pass he made in for. For someone, but it was too tight anyway. But yeah, I think he might be able to do that. So yeah, seeing them together, hopefully, we can see something. But the big but there is we're seeing them together for the first time at Anfield. It's a very hostile environment.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not. I would have loved to see them together against fucking, I don't know, Luton or something. But this is Anfield. It's a whole different ball game. Once the crowd gets on you, I'd never forget when we played them in the Europa League, and during the team lineup, I've mentioned it here before. When the camera is going across the lineup, Daley Blind, his leg is like visibly shaking. Like you could see his leg like trembling because they were like, this is when they're singing and all that. So it's a huge occasion. Yeah, I just hope they can hold it together. But I'll just quickly add. My biggest worry with Liverpool and also is not because of the personnel, it's because the way we play is tailor-made for the way Liverpool plays. Like we can't beat a press. Like once everybody just presses us to death, and that's it. And that's what Newcastle did. That everybody does that, and who does that better than Liverpool? So it's not necessarily the personnel or the people playing. It's more style. Stylistically, this is perfect for Liverpool based on how we've done before. Hopefully, we will see a change today and kind of throw them off, but I'm not confident we'll see a change anyway. So.
Well, the elephant in the room, Shrey, is obviously the captaincy. We touched on it briefly before, but the fact that I'm not sure about this decision, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit. This is a guy who Ten Hag openly wanted to sell in the summer. Him and Maguire, don't forget. This was public knowledge that we could have accepted money from West Ham or whoever it was who was going in for him. Obviously, he's been in the team sheet a lot more regular of late. He's been scoring goals, but doesn't really offer that anything in midfield. We spoke about that numerous times. There's other players on that pitch. Shreyas have a lot more experience. I mean, Evans has been at United technically for fucking a long, long time, with a break obviously in between.
Yeah.
You've got Rafael Varane in there, who was I think he's captain a few times this season. And then you got Luke Shaw, who's been in 9 years. So why do you think he's gone with McTominay?
I really don't have any clue as to why he's gone with McTominay. And even yesterday during the preview, I said that I have a very strong feeling that he'll give the captaincy to McTominay. And
yeah, you did.
Considering, he was one of the players who I think was first when it came to, outgoings in the summer. It's a big, big turnaround to actually giving him the captaincy in probably one of your biggest games of the season. In one of your games where I think if Ten Hag is not able to, produce a good result, it might be the end of the road for him. And he's banking on Scott McTominay to actually pull through for him. So
It's asking a lot in it. McTominay at Anfield as your captain. That is.
I mean, I get a gamble. I get a big gamble, but this is not even a gamble. This is just just putting it out in the universe and just hoping for something good to happen.
If you are Rafael Varane, bro, and you've won 5 Champions Leagues, a World Cup, everything there is in the game to be one of the most experienced players in Europe, and you see Scott McTominay, who, with all due respect, ability-wise is nowhere near that caliber. Experience-wise is nowhere near it. And it's
commanding the team, especially in a hostile atmosphere. I would rather gone with Luke Shaw either. If not Varane,
even McTominay screaming to fucking Amrabat or Varane, like, come on, get it together. Like, what's this guy on about, man? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Listen, guys. I'm sure you guys have known this before. Like, first of all, I don't really captaincy thing. Like, I don't really care. But this is trolling, right? It has to be. It has to be.
He's playing into all the trolls' hand on Twitter. All those guys who fucking tweet about Ten Hag and have an agenda. That is just going to fuel it so much, isn't it?
Honestly, he's just being a troll at this point because. I mean, I thought the captain was supposed to be a leader.
Yeah.
This is my understanding of what a captain is. He's a leader. He's someone who, McTominay has been there for a long time. I'm very partial to him. Like, I just like the idea of him around. I just don't want to see him too much, especially in an influential role. Like, but I just be in the background, be there to But yeah, I don't get. There's so many things to worry about right now that. I really don't even want to think about him being a captain. It's just, but it has to be a troll, because there's no logical reason why, apart from the fact that he scores a lot of goals. And to be fair, if you look at it another way, McTominay has always been a big game player, always. Yeah, he turns up in the big games. He does. So. Maybe Ten Hag has seen something there. He's tapped into some.
Mostly in the derbies, even if it's not against Arsenal or those sort of moments. Usually against teams, oppositions like City and Liverpool, he has been a different.
Yeah, he turns up in the big game. So maybe Ten Hag has seen that. Maybe this will end up being a masterstroke. Who knows, right? But yeah. Sorry, I know this is the question. I just wanted to.
No, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. We're going to dive into the Liverpool team now because this is where it gets interesting. And we'll ask a few questions. So we've got Alisson starting in net for them. We've got Trent, who's in form at the moment. He's been doing very well. Konate, Van Dijk, Shimikas at left back. You've got Endo, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, and then you've got Salah, Nunez, and Diaz. That front three, obviously at Anfield, is dangerous as fuck. So Shreyas, what are the positives and negatives to take from that team when you look at it?
McAllister isn't available. I think that's a big positive because I know he's not an out-and-out six, but he allows players like Szoboszlai to actually do what they do, above the pitch. I think Endo is someone that you can exploit in this game. Like if you overpressure him, he is someone who can make a mistake. He is a weak link in that Liverpool team. So I think McAllister is a big miss in that midfield. Um, Simicas and Trent is in good form right now, but if Garnacho can have a good day, because one thing with Garnacho is he's relentless. Like you can actually beat him down like 5 or 6 times, he'll still, come back for the seventh time. So if Garnacho is on it, maybe he can have a decent game against Trent. Anthony versus Simicas is something. Anthony is way too inconsistent to actually hope from him a lot. Like if Simicas, he's been all right, he's been decent for them, but once again, he is somewhere, an area where you could exploit. These are the only three areas because if you look into the attack, I think Salah can against Luke Shaw. It's still, somewhere I can say that maybe Luke Shaw can defend against him. It is still an equal battle, but Luis Diaz against Diogo Dalot, I have no hope at all. And
Yes.
yeah,
You were talking about Anthony and Simicas, like you were like maybe Simicas has some, can be got like what? Can you just tell me one defender that Anthony has got the better of? Like this is like it doesn't matter who is a left back, right?
I think he's been all right though the past couple of games. I don't think
he
he's been
was
bad
decent against. I think he was decent.
Chelsea. Against Chelsea, and he was
against Bayern. He was all right, but the one thing about Anthony is even if he, if he is able to get the better of a defender, for some reason he just slows the game, pace of the game down. He just doesn't go on a run. He slows down, allows players to actually move back, even if he wins the ball again. So I just don't know. I think Van Dijk and Konate are a very decent partnership to get through, and Højlund will have a very tough game today. Not just because of service, but getting through against, very, very physical centre backs who've got the pace to actually cover up for it as well. I think against Bayern as well, Højlund had a tough game against the likes of Upamecano and Kim Min-jae. So this isn't going to be any walk in the park for him either. So it's going to be a very tough outing for the attack. I think Garnacho I still expect maybe he can have a decent game, but Højlund and Anthony will have very tough games. And in the midfield, though, I still think that if Amrabat and Menu are able to, provide that sort of stability and, that composure, I think we can still get the better of them in the midfield. And that's the only area where I think maybe we can, just hold Liverpool down for like 30 to 40 minutes.
This might go against the grain and people might not agree with this at all. And I don't give a shit because it's my opinion. But if Donny van de Beek was playing more on a regular basis, I would much rather start him as the 10 with Kobbie Mainoo and Amrabat, because if you're trying to get hold of the ball or sustain pressure off you for a bit, he's that kind of player that will play triangles, that will, breaches the pattern and stuff. I think we will get lost in build-up at times with McTominay there. Like, I've seen it too many times against Bayern Munich where he was on like the half turn, or he was like, and just could not control it and does not have that awareness at all.
Yeah, can't turn. You just can't turn. He can't.
He hasn't got it. Like he's just not got that nous. No way near it.
He cannot even reposition his body. Like even if he's going for a shot and he's going in at a certain angle, he cannot reposition his body at all. It's just one unidirectional. And to be fair, I would have, even if Eriksen was available, I would have gone with Eriksen, or even Mount. Anyone would have been available, I would have gone with them. But McTominay.
Well, there was Hannibal as well, of course, wasn't there? He was, I thought he might have played Hannibal. You think about the energy off the ball, he's a little bit more delicate than McTominay is, or probably a lot more. Yeah. And then the bench against you there, like Payende, Kambuala, Wan-Bissaka, Reguilon, Go, Hannibal, Van de Beek, Pellistri, and Rashford. I mean, Rashford's obviously the only outstanding name on there. Do you think he could have a say at all off the bench?
Like I said,
big game player. You speak about McTominay being a big game, innit?
Rashford.
He's had a very decent record against Liverpool, to be fair.
Yeah, he's got a good record against Liverpool, and what's his name? Well, that thing he did with Trent, like everyone kind of remembers. How he did that with Trent. But like I said, I'm not too focused on individuals. To be fair, it's just I just want to see a structure, and then if everyone is playing to their strengths, then that's perfect. But playing in Anfield, Liverpool have the potential to play a high line. It's perfect. We've got pacey wingers. We've got a pacey striker. Like you were saying, you have Donny van de Beek there to just beat the offside up. Literally, just play defensive. But I'd love to see Rashford in but just for who? I don't know who.
I think probably if Anthony's having a bit of a stinker, I think you might see him taken off and then Rashford on the right hand side running it.
I think that's the max.
I would have no problem with that at all. I would have no problem with Rashford coming in on the right, because Anthony also doesn't really. I haven't seen anything. He doesn't give us anything. So I'd like to see someone like Rashford come in. That was a good shout with Hannibal. Although the last time he played at Anfield, I think he played for like 10 minutes. Almost got sent off. So
you need a calm head at Anfield. You really, really need a calm head.
Well, that's why I said about the midfield. Amrabat, Mayhew, Van der Beek. It would have been.
There's literally no. I mean, apart from Kobe Mino, there's no ball retention, and this is what I see. This is what I've been seeing in the midfield for games now. There's literally no cohesion or no ball. There's no one. He's just given up the any intent to control the game or So I don't know, but like to answer your question, I'd like to see Rashford come on. If Anthony is taking the place out, at least just play. If anything, just play on the counter. If anything.
I think physically as well. I mean, talk on and off the ball, we're going to struggle a bit today, Shreyas, because you look at Van Dijk, Konate, I mentioned before, Szoboszlai, Mohamed Salah, these kind of guys that they are relentless and they will just keep going and going and go. They never stop, especially at Anfield. And then I look at some of the players in our team, and they can be flaky at times. They can be. Yeah. So when you think it's second balls and these kind of things, they're going to have to be on it, aren't they? They're almost going to have to put in a perfect performance to get a result today.
Yeah. And the other thing is, one thing that I saw against Bayern was, even though we were quite compact, Bayern were able to waltz through. Like there were like 7 to 8 occasions where Leroy Sané just cut in and just kept running and went through the middle and was able to get the better of all the entire defensive line. If we allow that sort of space for Szoboszlai, he doesn't even have to run. He can just ping the ball in from around the box and it will go in. He has that sort of ability. And the other area is, I would have loved Van Bissaka to start this game with the kind of form that these wingers are in. I really don't think that putting Diego Dalot
Why is he not playing him?
He hasn't really started. He didn't start against City. He didn't start against Chelsea. He didn't start in the game in the Champions League either. It's been
Dalot. That Bournemouth game. I was watching. I looked at Dalot and I'm like, how is he starting again? He was fucking awful against Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
He wasn't good against Bayern Munich either, because every single time, even when Antony was moving forward, he gave the ball on the overlap to Dalot, and he just lost the ball. And we get hit on the counter again and again and again. And if you expect Dalot to actually do that job again, like imagine we win the ball in the final third, which we have been doing in almost every single game. You pass the ball around, Dalot is on the ball, he loses it, and then Liverpool are on the counter attack. There is no way you're stopping Liverpool on the counter. You can just hope that Darwin Núñez misses it, or they have a bad day in front of goal. That's the only thing that you can wish for.
I've got to ask you these questions, and they're going to be like 3 hard hitting ones for this game. One is, do you think if this is another embarrassment, do you think Ten Hag will go?
Yeah. I think it will be. I think if it is like a 6-0 or a 5-0, I think when the whole takeover thing happens, maybe not this season itself. I hope it is not this season itself, but next season, I think there will be a very harsh call from Ineos. Because one thing that I've seen from Ineos is, in the time that they've acquired Nice, I think they've had like 5 seasons or 6 seasons or something like that, and they've changed like 6 to 7 managers. They reshuffle managers a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again at United.
Trevor?
Do you mean like will he be sacked immediately? Like would that be his last game? Or
do you think it'd be if it's another 5? Let's say 5-0, 6-0. Do you think it'd be his last game?
No,
not immediately. Not immediately.
No. I think any decision on the manager. I think Murta and the rest of them or the board don't want that decision falling on them. I think they just rather give it to the new administration that's coming and just walk away. So I think whatever happens now, it doesn't matter if we concede against Liverpool and lose to Villa. Until there's a new management in, I think we keep Ten Hag. Yeah. And just quickly, just to add to the question before, I think Ten Hag prefers Dalot for his attacking prowess rather than defending. I think he's prioritized attacking over defending. Because even though against Bournemouth he was crap, but the first half he was he looked lively going forward against Bournemouth. But it's just the same thing that happens all the time. Once we have pressure, sustained pressure, and we don't capitalize, we just kind of lose it, and then everything comes back on us. But no, I don't think Ten Hag works just now until the new management comes in.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts. There's more and more people joining the chat. It's very quiet today, considering it's Liverpool United. There's usually a lot of opinions being slung about. So make sure you get involved in the comment section. Smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're getting closer and closer to the score predictions. I'm not going to do them just yet. We'll do them in the next couple of minutes or so. But look, if these players completely capitulate and do the exact same thing that they did in the first half that they did last season, because I don't know if you remember the first 43 minutes, was it?
Yeah.
We was actually relatively good in that game, and then as soon as the first two went in, was it 2-0 at half time?
Yeah,
and then
it was
1-0.
1-0.
Yeah, so the first half actually wasn't that bad from
It
that
was
perspective.
relatively 50-50 in the first half.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, if you can get through the first 20 minutes, I know it sounds stupid because the last game was thinking, but if you can show a bit of resilience and get through the first 20 minutes and don't concede an early goal, there might be a bit more optimism. Because I just think if they score within the first 2 minutes, 5 minutes, it's done. I have no hope whatsoever. But I actually think if you can get at them a little bit, cause them a bit of issues with Højlund in behind or Garnacho or whatever, because he will press high up the pitch, give him something to think about. Maybe you can, if you play like you did against Bayern Munich, you can scrape a draw against them. But you're going to have to be very organised, very focused, and very compact, because you give these guys any space whatsoever. You know, they're challenging for the title effectively this season. They're the killers. Salah especially, I'm worried about on the right-hand side. Diaz as well against Dalot, like you mentioned, Treyas. It's like we said, we're going to need an almost perfect performance, I believe. And I don't know if they're necessarily capable of that. Right. Shreyas, what are you thinking? How does the game play out, and what will the score be?
I think there are only two ways it plays out. One, we don't actually play that scrappy. We don't make sloppy passes. We don't, lose out on the ball in the worst positions. Even then, I think it will be like 2-1 or 3-1.
I think Nick was asking you a question realistically, like just be real.
4-0, 5-0.
Okay, there we go.
Sorry, carry on.
No, but even just touch on it tactically as well. Do you think we'll be pinned back, Shreyas, as well in this game? Completely?
I think we'll have to stay back. I don't think that Anfield, you would see us actually, playing on the front foot, or even wanting to actually, moving forward in the first 15 or 20, because the thing is, against a team like Liverpool, if you do concede an early goal, you know how the rest of the game is going to pan out. So I think it will be compact. They will try to, maintain the ball in their own half. Just keep Liverpool at bay for most of the first half, and just take their chances whenever they pop up. Because I think it will be very difficult because of the kind of players that we have in our disposal. Because I don't see any player in this 11 right now who I would say that if we get the ball in a very good position, he can just spray the ball around and we can hit them on the counter. That's the one area where I think that even if we have the ball, we don't really have any player who can do much with it.
Yeah, that's interesting. And equally, same question to you, Chiva.
Sorry, what was the question?
He's going to say that now. Do you see it playing out like that? Do you think it'll be another Bayern game the way we played there, or do you think we might have a bit of hope on the counter, etc.?
All right, okay. I'll give a very Michael Owen answer, right?
Yeah.
If we put the ball in the back of the net, we'll win. If we just need to go out there and score. If we score more goals,
we win. And if we don't concede more goals,
have you seen that thing about Owen about the apple on the wall thing? Oh my god!
No.
Have you not seen that?
No.
He does an interview with Simon Jordan, right? And he's asking about something, and he goes, "What did you used to do? What habits? Do you have any bad habits when you were younger?" I used to sit on my mum's chair and throw it an apple, and sometimes it'd hit the wall and it'd stain the wall, and my mum would be really angry. And it's like people making memes out of it, saying he's such a hero, he's so confident, he's so fucking. Honestly, it's such a Michael Owen thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michael Owen isn't playing tonight, so.
No, yeah. I think they'll just press the shit out of us. I think that's what's going to happen because, I think I've mentioned this before. Like every time we play, I think like managers who play against us just share their notes
Yeah.
and just be like, yeah,
Same blueprint.
next week, all right, yeah. Like they just kind of share notes because it's
Yeah.
the same thing that happens all the time, and they just put run triangles around us, and you don't really have to be at your best to beat United, right? So I think they just need to be organized, very organized. And I think that, yeah, like I said, I think we'll just be pressed to death. But I'm hoping that they play a high line, and I'm hoping that we try and be very, very judicious and very. We've never been organized this season, but I'm just hoping that we know.
Yeah, we can only hope. We can only hope. It's kill or be killed. It literally is kill or be killed.
I know if you guys are superstitious.
No, I wouldn't say
so. I'm not superstitious either. But on 3 occasions over the years, and this goes back to like early 2000s, or when before Shreyas was born, probably. but every time we played in Anfield, not every time, but a number of times we played at Anfield, it's 0-0 in the first half. Valencia did it once, Berbatov did it once, and I think it happened in the last game. We go for goal and we hit the bar, and every time we hit the bar, we lose that game. It's like the 2 posts, the left hand side of it. I've noticed this. I'm sure no one else has noticed this, but every time
I don't think they would.
The second time it happened, when Berbatov hit it, I was like, oh my god, we're going to lose, and we lost 2-1.
Okay.
I remember this.
So keep an eye out for that then. If it hits the bar on the left hand side, we're done for.
Yeah. It's happened before, and I've noticed this, but yeah.
Well, there's a superstitious prediction for you. What's your actual score predictions? Throw them in.
Right. I can't. I don't know.
Say it with your heart. Say it with your chest, man. You've never been one to shy away, have you?
I don't know. 3-0.
Okay.
Very
United,
yeah. Yeah. No, 3-0.
Yeah, I said yeah then. No.
3-0 to Liverpool. That'll be. I think that'll be modest. That'll be a modest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Shreyas, you sticking? What did you say? 4-5?
Yeah, 4-5.
Okay. I'll go 1-1. We get a draw.
Get in there. Come on.
Get in there. I'm going to leave you with a quote before we go. Get all your score predictions in the chat. Subscribe to Real Reds Talk and smash the like on the video if you think we're going to smash Liverpool 9-0. What are we laughing at? What's tickled Shreyas? Have I missed something here? What?
We're so happy regarding one
draw. Right.
When you said 1-1, sorry.
Oh, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Oh, okay.
Cry.
Oof. Yeah.
Are we settled now, lads? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I'm now going to leave you with this quote whilst these two are laughing like hyenas in the background. So, Eric Ten Hag and why Scott McTominay is captain today. I'm going to leave you with this, right? I think he's the example for what it means to wear the badge and play for Manchester United. He will be the example of passion and desire, and others can build on that. But will be an example of quality? That is the big question. Probably not, but let's see what happens. Right, we'll see you for the review after the game, guys. If we haven't jumped off a bridge or something, obviously jokes aside, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough watch, I imagine, but we will be live discussing it regardless, either way, either losing our heads or in absolute joy of a draw. Let's see. Thank you, Shreyas. Thank you to Chive. Try and enjoy the game, and I'm sure we'll be speaking in the WhatsApp. And guys, let's hope we fucking do something, because even if it's a draw, we'll take it at this point. See you in a bit.